Good evening, everyone. Can I welcome you to the annual council meeting? These proceedings are being live streamed, and I would also like to welcome any members of the press and public who may be watching online. I call upon the Chief Executive to read the notice convening the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You are summoned to attend the annual meeting of Sunderland City Council to be held in the Council Chamber, City Hall, Plater Way, Sunderland, on Wednesday, 15th of May 2024 at 6 p.m, at which it is proposed to consider and transact the business as set out in the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you. We will now proceed to the election of the Mayor. I would like to invite nominations for the office of Mayor for the ensuing year. Councillor Foster, I understand you would like to make a nomination.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I would like to nominate Councillor Alison Chisnell, please.
Councillor Wilson, do you second the nomination? I invite Councillor Foster to speak to the nomination.
Sorry, the speech, yeah? Yeah. Good evening, Madam Mayor, honoured guests, honorary aldermen and colleagues. Madam Mayor, can I just say a few words before the main event by Councillor Wilson? Madam Mayor, it was a pleasure. Madam Mayor, is this the nomination speech? Yeah. Madam Mayor, it was a pleasure to nominate you to be Mayor of Sunderland. When you were just Alison Chisnell from Town End Farm, you became a member of the Castle Ward, and at a time when we were looking for a candidate to take over from Councillor Doris McKnight, who was a very good councillor in her own right. When you had the finger pointed at you, that you were the chosen one, did you really realise the path you were about to take? No. I think once you got your thoughts together and made up your mind to be the Castle Ward councillor, it wasn't in doubt you would be a success. Madam Mayor, apart from me and Councillor Wilson, you must be the most hard-working councillor in the Castle Ward. And of course, Madam Mayor, I've just found out there's another two councillors in the Castle Ward, Councillor Alan Curtis and John Usher. So they'll be going your fifth now. As I say, Madam Mayor, apart from me, Councillor Wilson and Councillor Usher and Councillor Curtis, you must be the most hard-working councillor in the Castle Ward, never shying away from any situation that has been served up before you. As far as the Castle Ward goes, Madam Mayor, you have always been a good team player while struggling with your other commitments in your life. Luckily, you have Alistair and a great family to give you support when needed. So I would like to wish you, Madam Mayor, and Alistair all the best for the coming years, and I'm sure it will be a wonderful and successful year. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I invite Councillor Wilson to speak to the nomination.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, honoured guests, honorary aldermen and colleagues. There's your phone back, Steve. It's kind of nerve-wracking when you make a speech and, like Stevie wrote his down, I'm just going to map mine up. And it's even more nerve-wracking when you didn't know what's coming out of your mouth. On behalf of me and Steve, we must compliment the Chief Exec on his new haircut. I think it's absolutely stunning. Right, we'll not go on there, because I'll need things from you as the year progresses. Right, Alison, Alison, like me and Stevie, never wanted to be a councillor. She was just sitting minding her own business on her phone. When we said, Alison, will you be a councillor? And she said, go on then. So you've got 3 councillors, Castle Ward, that didn't want to be councillors for the politics and all the other stuff that goes on. We just want to get things done where we live, and Alison's like that. And she's impressed all of us with her capacity for picking things up really quick. She's learned how to be a councillor, how things work, how the system works, which I still don't understand, but Alison does. But the thing she's impressed us most with is her capacity for drinking beer. She's absolutely amazing. She's flattening all the Labour councillors. Somebody said it's like going out with a Viking. A lot of people drink either with the left hand or the right hand, but Alison drinks with both hands, a pint in both fists, and she's a weir, proper party animal, rock chick. So she'll definitely, and I tell you what, I wished HMS Ocean was coming, because when they give the mayor a tour of the ship, like tongue-in-cheek, the captain says, and would you like to come and have a drink? Well, I'd love to be there when he said it to Alison. And she just took her chains off and went, right, well, let's get into it. Something you didn't know about Alison, she knew years ago that she was going to be mayor. She went and seen a fortune teller. And the fortune teller looked at her palm and said, you're destined for greatness. And Alison said, am I? She says, aye. Well, let's have a look in the crystal ball. So that looked in the crystal ball, and she said, there you are, that's your mayor-making ceremony. And Alison says, it can't be, man, it's in a multi-purpose sports hall. She says, it should be in the council chamber. And the fortune teller says, well, have a look in the crystal ball. She says, oh, the council chamber in the civic centre's been pulled down. They've built houses. She says, have you not got any landmark buildings in Sunderland? And Alison straight in, yes, we have. I'll have you know, we've got the National Glass Centre. So I didn't say that. Alison said that. So the fortune teller says, well, she's looking at things. She says, how else you want to ask us? And Alison says, aye, this mayor-making, is this where my ward colleagues get up and really embarrass us? And she says, aye, but that fella talking now would love to embarrass you. But it's 2024, and you can't say now to anybody in 2024, because they all get offended and fall to bits. The world's gone claggy soft. So he did want to make jokes about your pussycat. And Alison says, well, why would you want to do that? She says, well, because he's still like stuck in the 70s and all that, and he still thinks of, can you remember, are you being served? And I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to everybody else. And Alison said, aye, I can, Mr. Humphreys. I'm free. Can you remember that? Can anybody else remember that? Right. Well, you can't, Mr. Humphreys would be in jail now if he was running around like that. This fella wants to make jokes about your pussycat in the theme of Mrs. Slocum, because Mrs. Slocum used to always tell stories about her pussycat, can you remember? And Alison said, my favourite one was when Mrs. Slocum come into work one day and Captain Peacock said, Mrs. Slocum, you look a bit tired this morning, what's the matter with you? She said, I've had a right night. She says, my central heating went off and my pussy was freezing. She says, I had to put the oven on and keep it in front of the oven all night. So I was going to crack them. He says, he can't, it's 2024. So here we are now, 2024, we're here now, gone from the fortune teller. Alison confronted us. She says, you're not going to tell them jokes. She says, the moronic, just like you, 1970s tribe. She says, people want more highbrow stuff, more intellectual stuff, not lowbrow moron stuff like you talk. So I only know one highbrow intellectual joke, so here it is. remember, is this getting beamed? Is this on CCTV? Is this on YouTube? You're going to have to laugh, even if it's crap, because it's an intellectual joke, and people will think you're all morons if you didn't laugh. So, here we go. Alison always likes to be reassured about her appearance. Obviously, she doesn't ask me how she looks, she asks Stevie all the time. So, this particular time, because Stevie's got daughters, he knows he can speak woman, I cannot speak that way. And Stevie always tells her she looks nice. So this particular, before we came in here, actually, she said to Stevie, Stevie, what do I look like? Do I look nice? And Stevie said, oh, you look like a princess, Alison, you look gorgeous. Just one thing, when you're putting your eyebrow pencil on, you're putting it on too high up on your forehead. Alison looked surprised. It took about 5 seconds for that one to go in. We'll get back to the pussycat jokes we were gone. Alison will be a great mayor for us, but she does tend to put her foot in it now and again. Now, I think the Lord High Sheriff or Lord Lieutenant was supposed to be here tonight. And they would have backed us up on this story. And not an odd joke, but it's true of Alison. When the mayor had to do, obviously, a high-status event at Hilton Castle, high tea, the Lord High Sheriff was there and Alison was on the top table. And so they were sitting there and the Lord High, there was only 2 cakes left on the tray. And the Lord High Sheriff picked the tray up and said to Alison, would you like the strawberry tart or a meringue? And Alison said, no, you're right, I'll have the strawberry tart. The other one was when we went to an old folks' home. And this old woman, it was her 100th birthday, and the school choir was there to sing happy birthday. And when we went in, they'd done all that, and the old woman had a telegram from the king. And this young lass was in a right strop, so Alison said, what's the matter with your face? She said, well, it's my birthday and all, I didn't get a telegram from the king. And Alison says, well, how old are you? She says, I'm 14. She says, 14, you're far too young to get a telegram from the king. Keep checking your phone because you might get a text off Prince Andrew. And on that note, before it gets any worse, I would just like to wish Alison and Alistair, because you're going to be knackered, you'll be no use to us when you get back. All the best and have a very successful year. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? If no other nominations, does the council agree that Councillor Alison Chisnell is elected mayor? Agreed. Thank you. I declare that Councillor Alison Chisnell is elected mayor of the city for the ensuing year.
I now call upon the Mayor to read and sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office.
Thank you. I, Alison Chisnell, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Sunderland City Council, hereby declare that I take office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite the Mayor to make her acceptance speech.
Honoured guests, family and friends and colleagues, thank you all for being here this evening to witness my inauguration into the office of Mayor of Sunderland. I would like to first of all offer congratulations to the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Dorothy Truman, and her consort, Councillor Harry Truman. They are a wonderful couple, and it's been a pleasure to work alongside them for the past year. They have attended well over 350 engagements as Mayor and consort, and have done a fantastic job raising funds for their two charities and good causes. I'm sure Dorothy will let you know just how much she's raised later in the ceremony. Well done to you both on a very successful year, and I hope you both plan to have a well-deserved rest before throwing yourselves back into your ward duties. Excuse me. I would like to thank my ward colleagues, Councillor Stephen Foster for nominating me for the office of Mayor, and Councillor Denny Wilson for seconding the nomination. Thank you for your very kind words and ongoing support. It means so much to me. On behalf of myself, my consort Alistair, and Tracy, who has been standing in wherever Alistair has been working, we would like to give thanks to Jamie, Jade, Nathan and Megan for finding other babysitters and allowing us to continue to do the work that we do. Only one more year to go. I would also like to thank friends and family for the support they have given us this past year, and for the support that we hope you will continue to give during the year ahead. You know who you are. We simply could not do what we do without you. You're all amazing, and I'm looking forward to roping you all into my fundraising efforts. I would like to express my thanks to Mandy, Estelle, Dave, Chris, Bill and Jill for the amazing work that they do behind the scenes to make sure that our diaries are up to date and we're in the right place at the right time. And last but no means least, thank you to my chaplain, Reverend John Purdy, for his blessings this evening. Now the thanks are complete, I want to say how much I'm looking forward to the year ahead, showcasing the award-winning City Hall building, being out in the community, meeting local people and organisations, charities and businesses, and learning of all the great work happening in and around our city, which you can see what's going on. Mentioning great work in the city, in July 2022, work commenced on a derelict building known as the Old Biddick School in Washington. The building has now been transformed into 15 affordable homes for people with learning disabilities and poor mental health, and provides overnight accommodation and meeting rooms for support staff. This development is part of the council's This development is part of the council's £59 million housing delivery investment plan, and tomorrow is my first engagement as Mayor. I get to join officers from the council and residents of the homes for the official opening of the school apartments. By the way, I'm not crying, my eyes stings. I'm not overwhelmed, thank you. It's schemes like this which incite such positive change to people's lives, and I'm excited to learn about the support as well as some of the spectacular city events. like the Remembrance Parade, Christmas switch-ons and much more. We can all see the development work going on around City Hall, and I'm looking forward to witnessing the progress and transformation from our new eye infirmary to construction of the new smart bridge linking the Old Volk site to the sheepfolds. I'm both extremely honoured and excited to work with my chaplain and charities to help raise their profiles, spread awareness of the valuable work that they do for our community, and to raise some much needed funds for them during my term in office. I already have my fundraising events arranged in the diary, and the team will get these dates and the details to you all very soon. And I really do hope to see as many of you there as possible. It's for really good causes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right, that's what I'm doing. I don't know if I need this mic sometimes. I've appointed Reverend John Purdy in Castletown Methodist Church to be my chaplain for the term of office. Reverend Purdy will now offer prayers.
To all, as the River Wear flows through our city to the sea. We pray for all the activities on our streets, for economic well-being at the heart of the city, and for peace in the home of each and every resident. Build the community as one. Though diverse, may each bring their gifts and abilities to serve and bless their neighbour. We pray your blessing especially on Alison as mayor and on Alistair as consort. We pray that you too may be strengthened by God's grace for the tasks to which you are called and in how you will represent this city. Bless Castletown Scouts, Hilton Castle, and the Royalty Theatre, and beyond them the groups and activities that bring life, colour, and health to the community. Bless the Castle Ward community and every community across our city, and bless all those elected to represent them. In the name of Jesus, who says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled," we do not despair, but we trust in God. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. I now call upon Councillor Spedding to move the vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor. Councillor Spedding.
Thank you and congratulations, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, honoured guests and colleagues, good evening. Madam Mayor, I'm privileged to propose this vote of thanks to your predecessor and outgoing Mayor, Councillor Dorothy Truman, a proud Rye-European. A vote of thanks is about recognising what people do well, but more importantly, telling them. Whilst there are some who have no understanding as to the role of a civic mayor, as principal citizen of this fine city, I have seen firsthand your commitment to not only the communities, groups and individuals within its boundaries, but also those in the wider region. In your role as mayor, your abundant compassion, passion and empathy has been in plain view for all to see as you have touched the lives of many across the city and the region. Your achievements within the role of Mayor will undoubtedly stand the test of time, and to which my colleague, Councillor Scanlon, a fellow Rye-Pean, will attest in more detail. Councillor Dorothy Truman, on behalf of this city and this council, thank you.
Thank you. The vote of thanks will be seconded by Councillor Scanlon.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, honoured guests and colleagues. Firstly, may I congratulate Councillor Chisholm on her appointment to Mayor for the ensuing year, and to, I'm sure you'll be a wonderful ambassador for the city. It's wonderful being the first citizen. You will really make a difference to our city, I'm sure you will. Councillor Dorothy Truman, a friend to all. Dorothy's such a wonderful personality. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your service to our city over the past 4 years. Because, of course, this began when we were recovering from COVID, when Harry was the Mayor and you were Mayoress. At that time, you introduced us to 2 charities, Hug in a Bag and the Special Lionesses. And to be honest, I would say that most of us had never heard of those charities, and you have brought them into the city. Your introduction to the charities, you've been a great support to them. You've enjoyed many, many fundraising activities, and I'm sure that the monies that you have raised will be great and will help them in their work that they do for the city. So I feel you've given everything you possibly could in your position to supporting them. You've worked so hard, and we thank you for your dedication and commitment to our city and your continued efforts in seeking to raise the profile of the city and being such a strong representative through your year. Thank you for the way you've conducted yourself in all civic roles, as well as the way you've chaired full council meetings. Your love for Councillor O'Brien shone through. Let's not forget the great team behind you, and I know you'll continue to raise the profile of the city, and on behalf of all of the members here, would wish you well on your ongoing work and involvement in your community. Thank you, Dorothy Truman.
Thank you. The vote of thanks will be supported by Councillor Edgeworth.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's good to be back as the majority opposition party. Let's see how long it lasts this time. I was kind of hoping someone might bring out a lettuce, but maybe they're waiting for next Monday for that. So on behalf of the Liberal Democrats, the majority party in opposition, I wanted to add our thanks to Dorothy Truman, particularly to say thanks for being a reasonable and impartial chair of these council meetings and the fairness you've showed to all groups, allowing opposition voices to be heard and facilitating robust questions and debates from all sides of an argument. And we certainly hope that future mayors use your actions as a standard to meet. And perhaps there's some lessons learned here for the new Labour group leader as well, and the London and Newcastle Politburo bosses about having nothing to fear from openness, transparency and dissenting voices in a democracy. Madam Mayor, I have another compliment to pay to Dorothy Truman, because it appears she's gained Stephen O'Brien's seal of approval, joining Linda Scanlon and Alison Smith in his mayoral fan club. And Lib Dem colleagues across the group have said it's been good to see you and Harry at events in the wards we represent over the past 12 months. I'm sure your visit to the new convenience store on Gleneagles Road in Grindon, in the best ward in the city, was obviously the highlight of the civic year, although it was a bit of a shock to see you there, because the sighting of anyone from the Labour Party in Sandhill these days is quite rare. On a personal level, I just want to say how pleased I was to see you open Sunderland Pride last summer, not only to recognise the city's LGBT+ community, but also for allowing me and Martin Haswell to spend the whole day telling anyone who'd listened that we truly were friends of Dorothy. So thank you, Dorothy. We wish you all well with whatever's coming next. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Edgeworth. I now call upon Councillor Dorothy Truman to reply.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Councillor Spedding for those few kind words, and Councillor Scanlon, and of course, Councillor Edgeworth. I thank you all very much. 2 years ago, I took on the role of Deputy Mayor, and it's been an absolutely fantastic 2 years. But this year as Mayor has just been out of this world. I've met some fantastic people in our city, in our great city. And not only in our city, but around the region. Volunteers, people that just go quietly about doing what they do. If I had to choose one of my proudest moments, it would have to be Remembrance Sunday. It was such an honour to represent our city. There's been lots of fun times as well. And one, which was just recently, was doing the conga with the chains on around the beacon of light with the S&D children. And apparently the echo photographer thought it would make a great photograph. He didn't have to do the conga with the chains on. Now for all the thank yous. I'd like to thank Harry for his support as my consort. Lisa, our daughter, who is here tonight. Our son Phil and his fiancée Jess, who unfortunately can't be here tonight due to work commitments. Our good friends who have been a constant support throughout my mayoral year, and you all know who you are. Alison and Alistair, you've been absolutely fantastic deputies. Thank you for your support, and especially when I took ill just before Christmas, because I had to step in at the last minute. Thank you, and I'm sure you'll be great in the role. But all these events would not be possible without our mayoral team. They help us host events. They get us to events beyond our city limits, and they always make sure we have everything we need. We have a fantastic mayoral team. Gillian, Mandy, Estelle, without them, I wouldn't know what I was doing from one day to the next. Because when you're a mayor in your year, you only know that there's a Y in the day. Dave, Chris, Bill, these guys look after us. They look after the chains more than us, mind. They do give the chains priority. But they always make sure we're there on time, and they really look after us well. And I can't thank you enough. My thanks also go to our Chief Executive, and Elaine and Patrick and the team, because without them, these council meetings would be a mess, basically. Well, Alison, as I said before, it's over to you now, and I'm sure you'll have a greater year as I have, and you'll be fantastic at it. Thank you. This is what I have a consort for. I forgot to say, this year for our two charities, which is Hug in a Bag and the Special Lioness, we've managed to raise £25,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Truman, and that really is an amazing amount of money to raise for your charities. Well done, congratulations. Now we have some presentations, and I have great pleasure in presenting badges to Councillor Dorothy Truman and her consort to commemorate their year of office together with a photographic record of the engagements during the mayoral year. Thank you. We will now deal with the election of Deputy Mayor. Councillor Leonard, I understand you would like to make a nomination for the office of Deputy Mayor for the ensuing year.
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Graham Miller, do you second the nomination?
Madam Mayor, I so second.
I invite Councillor Leonard to speak on the nomination.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, honoured guests and colleagues. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the outgoing Mayor and her consort for their hard work over the past year and congratulate Councillor Alison Chisnell as the new incoming Mayor and extend the same to her consort. For the role of this year's Deputy Mayor, I would like to propose Councillor Ethersham Hack. Having worked with Councillor Hack, I believe he has the qualities that will make him a great representative for Sunderland. He is resilient, supportive, enthusiastic and shares the ambitions that we have for our city, embracing all our communities and what they have to offer. His positive demeanour will shine through the role, and it is for these reasons that I believe he will be excellent in the role and an asset to the city. I'm sure members will agree and that Councillor Hack will be appointed the role of Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. I invite Councillor Graham Miller to speak to the nomination.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, honoured guests, councillors. I won't repeat what Councillor Leonard's already said about our nomination for the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Hack, because tonight's about the Mayor and her evening. I have no doubt that Councillor Hack will be an excellent Deputy Mayor. I'm sure he'll get his training wheels in the first year working under you, Councillor Chisnell. And when we get to next year and it's his event, we can give fulsome speeches about his qualities at that time. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Are there any other nominations? Can we agree that Councillor Ethersham Hack is elected Deputy Mayor? Thank you. I declare that Councillor Ethersham Hack is elected Deputy Mayor of the ensuing year. I'll put you right.
I now call upon the Deputy Mayor to read and sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office.
I, Ethersham Hack, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the City of Sunderland, hereby declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite the Deputy Mayor to make his acceptance speech.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, honoured guests, colleagues, friends and family, may I begin by thanking the outgoing Mayor and her consort for a job well done. Councillor Leonard and Councillor Miller, thank you both for the kind words and nominating me and seconding the motion, electing me in office as the Deputy Mayor of the City of Sunderland for the ensuing year. I feel extremely proud to have been nominated and elected as Deputy Mayor for the forthcoming year, and look forward to supporting the new Mayor, Councillor Alison Chisnell, and her consort, Alistair, in promoting and celebrating our great city. Our diaries are filled with engagements for the coming few months. I am excited to get started and attend my very first citizenship ceremony next week here in the Council Chamber. And I have the privilege of visiting RAF Bulmer for their annual reception. Thank you to everyone and congratulations again to Councillor Alison Chisnell, our new Mayor, and consort Alistair.
Next, there are some gifts to present to the consort, to the retiring Mayor and the Deputy Mayor's consort. We now have to deal with some formalities of the council meeting. The next item of business is apologies. Do we have any apologies for absence?
I have received apologies for absence from Councillors P. Walker and Aldermen Forbes, Greenfield and Tate.
Are there any further apologies? The next item is to approve the minutes of the last meeting of the Council held on the 20th of March 2024. I understand that Councillor Edgeworth has an amendment in that his declared interest was only in relation to his employment and not membership of the Planning and Highways Committee. Subject to this correction, can we agree the minutes? Thank you. I now have some announcements to make. On Sunday, the 21st of July at 10:30 a.m, a civic service will be held at Castletown Methodist Church. Members and officers of the Council and representatives of local public bodies and organisations will be invited to accompany me on this occasion. The charities I will be supporting during my term of office will be Castletown Scouts Group, Hilton Castle Trust and the Royalty Theatre. I now call upon Councillor Mordy to advise Council in respect of the position regarding item 8.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and welcome to your new role as Mayor. As indicated on the supplementary report, Madam Mayor, Council is asked to note that this information will be provided at the extraordinary meeting of the Council on the 20th of May, where I'm sure we'll have a robust and convivial debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mordy. Can Council note this position? We now move to items 9 to 13, which are the various appointments and also recommendations in respect of the Council diary. Can I call upon Councillor Mordy to move items 9 to 13?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In relation to item 9, the details including nominations are set out in the report on the agenda, together with the supplementary report, which is being circulated to members. Members will note there are vacancies in respect of the positions of Vice Chair of the Children, Education and Skills Scrutiny Committee and the East Area Committee, to which you will no doubt request nominations. There is an update to the proposed constitution and the recommendations in respect of the posts of the independent persons. I move items 9 to 13 inclusive. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Checker, do you second the motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I second the motion and reserve the right to speak.
Councillor Mordy, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just in relation to the two positions I mentioned earlier, if there is a vote on the positions, the position of the Labour Group is that the Cabinet will abstain on the scrutiny post. The Labour Group will have a free vote to vote for who they think is the best person for the job. Likewise, with the East Area Committee, it's a free vote in my group and look forward to what nominations the opposition groups bring forward. Thank you.
Councillor Checker, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We'll deal with the Vice Chair vacancies first. Could I ask for any nominations for the Vice Chair of the Children, Education and Skills Scrutiny Committee?
Madam Mayor, Councillor Edgeworth and Councillor Mullen wish to make nominations.
Is there someone to move the nomination?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll move a nomination for Paul Gibson, please.
Thank you. And who would like to second the nomination?
I'll second that nomination, thank you.
Councillor Mullen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I nominate Chris Bernacle.
And would anybody like to second that nomination?
I'd second the nomination, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Can we take it on a vote of hands? Yeah. Can I see a vote of hands for Councillor Edgeworth? For Councillor Gibson's, apologies. Thank you. Thank you. May I lower your hands? And can I see a vote by show of hands for Councillor Bernacle?
Madam Mayor, that appears to be a clear majority in favour of Councillor Gibson.
Thank you. Could I ask for any nominations for the Vice Chair of the East Area Committee?
Madam Mayor, again, Councillors Edgeworth and Mullen.
Councillor Edgeworth?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I nominate Niall Hudson and just remind colleagues that the choice is between voting for the Conservatives or against, so it should be pretty clear on the opposition benches. And if it's not, I'll probably only be in the position for a few weeks if last year's anything to go by. So you can just vote for the Tories in a few weeks' time.
Thank you. And can we have a seconder for that nomination?
Can I second that, Madam Mayor, and reserve the right to speak?
Councillor Mullen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Nominate Councillor Michael Dixon.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder?
I'd second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Vote of hands. Right. Can we have a show of hands, please, for Councillor Hodgson? Thank you. And can we have a show of hands for Councillor Dixon?
Madam Mayor, that appears to be a clear majority in favour of Councillor Hodson.
Councillor O'Brien. Does anyone wish to speak on the items, or are there any alternative nominations? I have received notice that Councillor Edgeworth wishes to speak. Councillor Edgeworth.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Obviously, I was going to do my usual political speech, but seeing as you've granted us a new opportunity on Monday to have a go, I'll save my remarks for then. But I would like to move an amendment on item 10 on the joint committees and outside bodies. I'd like to amend the proposed appointment to the Citizens Advice Bureau Washington Management Committee, replace Harry Truman with Steve Duncan. and change the amendment on Washington Sports Trust, replace Sean Laws with Steve Duncan. Thank you.
Councillor Edgeworth, would you mind reading those two again, please?
Sorry, Madam Mayor. Yes, it's the Citizens Advice Bureau Washington Management Committee. The papers suggest appointing Harry Truman, and I'd like to replace that with Washington Steve Duncan. And Washington Sports Trust, I'd like to replace Sean Laws again with Steve Duncan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Could anyone second for the citizens' advice?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Right, we need to vote by a show of hands for the citizens' advice. Can we see a show of hands in vote of favour for Councillor Truman? Thank you. Thank you. Lower your hands. And can we see a show of hands for Councillor Steve Duncan?
Madam Mayor, that's a majority in favour of Councillor Truman.
Next, we will go to, is anyone seconding the Sports Trust nomination?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Again, we'll go to a vote of show of hands. Can we see a show of hands in support of Councillor Laws? Thank you. And can we see a show of hands in favour of Councillor Steve Duncan?
Madam Mayor, Councillor Laws has the majority.
Thank you. So the right of reply to Councillor Morday.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm shocked to a little call that the Councillor Duncan, first meeting, he's been through Hendon, been through Pallion, convincing both wards that he's this local champion who's going to stand up for their rights in their community. The first thing he does, he comes in and asks to be put on committees in Washington. Isn't half living up to the monarch of Washington, Steve? Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure that Karen Noble will hear of this in the coming days, because it just proves the point that you cannot trust the Liberal Democrat when it comes to their election premises, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Can we agree items 9 to 13? Thank you. That concludes the business of the annual council meeting. Those that have been invited are welcome to join me for refreshments in the foyer.